by Edward Seago. It's a lovely little watercolour painting. It's incredibly simple, and I'm going to break down the 4 principles that make it work as a composition. I'm not going to analyse the technique or the watercolour technique and brushwork, colours and anything. I'm just going to look at the structure. So the first thing that I look at is what is the dominant mass, and here you can clearly see that the sky is the dominant mass. It's roughly about 60 to 65% of the picture itself. So that's the dominant mass. The support mass, which is the number 2 thing I look for, is here. It's this one unified subordinate mass of trees. You notice how they're all together. There's no independence there. There's no isolation. There's a little few sky holes here, a little bit of rhythm going on here. So that is the support mass. So number 1, look for the dominant mass, which is the sky. Come in at about 60%. Then we've got the support mass here, which works with a dominant and subordinate relationship. And then look for the quiet area in the painting. And there's 2 real quiet areas in the painting. The sky is quiet here. Where the cloud breaks, this is very quiet. There's no noise here. So the eye can rest in the sky. There's also another quiet area here, part of this clear passage. This is a reasonable little resting place for the eye. So is this. This is a nice resting place as well. If you notice, it's an incredibly muted green. And greens are very restful colours, particularly when they're muted like this. So there's a couple of quiet areas for the eye to rest. And the 4th thing I look for is the passage of the eye, which is incredibly important. So if you notice, there's a zigzag coming through here, like this. Standard zigzag. The clear passage right the way through. So the eye is taken through here and through here. You'll notice that it blocks off here on the far right. There's no clear passage anymore. It's completely blocked off. And there's a block off here. And that's to stop the eye from going off the painting frame, off the picture. You don't want the eye to escape. You want it captured. So the eye naturally, once it gets to the logical conclusion of the white path, it comes up to the support mass. And it moves along the support mass like this. And we've got these 3 diagonals, which, if you watch some of my composition videos, these are very powerful forces to oppose the horizon, which is quite low, roundabouts here. And you'll notice this is a diagonal slope. There's also a little accent here, little vertical here. So the eye will come down here and it can ascend into the sky, or it can move across here and it can find a little bit of interest here in the background. Quite a nice little blue, bit of aerial perspective, giving some recession. There's also a blockage here, again to stop the eye from escaping. And so the eye can move slowly and ascend into this lovely resting space for the eye, this negative space, which is very, very restrained and subdued. No doubt it's tinted. It looks white, but it will no doubt be tinted. Not sure what colour Seago would have used to tint this, but it's definitely tinted. So you've got a large quiet area, and the eye can work around this quiet area. And if you notice, the eye is enclosed by the cloud mass. You see the cloud mass deliberately keeps the eye in. So the eye is captured. It's not escaping. It's not veering off into the corners like so. It's not going off to the corners here. It's not going out the side. nor is it going out of this side. It works through the painting rhythmically and slowly. So the eye is always contained, and that is a sign of a great painting. It doesn't happen by accident. So, four things I look for, just to recap, is the dominant mass, the support mass, the quiet area, which is here, and this is quiet as well because of the restful greens. And also we've got a large area in the sky, which is quiet. It's probably, the sky is about 60%. This is probably over half of the sky is completely quiet with very, very muted blues, very light tones dotted around, but it is largely quiet. So that's a quick overview of a Seago watercolor painting. It's deceptively simple. I would advise you, if you've got the time, if you could take the time, is to just take a black marker pen, and you could reduce this to a notan design. You'd notice that this would be completely white. This would be a black mass here, and you would see this as a black mass with a zigzag through it, taking the eye through, and you'd see it would be deceptively simple, very much like a Japanese painting. It's that simple. So I hope that's been illuminating, and I didn't want to make it dry, too academic. I wanted to make this really snappy and short, and just give you the principles that I use to analyze masterpieces. So I'm just analysing structure and composition, and hopefully it's been a help. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching.